Here we're going to determine where functions are increasing or decreasing. Sometimes they're constant even. If you take a look at this picture, this one actually has all three involved in it. If you look at the left side of the screen, you can see that it's decreasing. Anything that's going down is decreasing. So it's decreasing on the left. If you look here in the middle, this is what we call constant because it's not going up, it's not going down. This is going to be increasing because it's going up. This far right is going to be decreasing again because, again, we're going down from the left to the right. Now, what you have to remember with this is that to find where something is increasing or decreasing, you only use the X scale. Just like in range, you only use the Y. In domain, you only use the X. In increasing and decreasing, you only use the X values. And since it's a part, each little piece, like this long piece, is a part of where it's decreasing, but it's also where it's constant, we never ever use brackets. We always use parentheses for this. So you will always use parentheses when you're measuring this. Now, if we want to find where this function is decreasing, we're going to be decreasing here along this curve. Now, what we want to do is measure on the X scale where it starts decreasing. Now, I can't find the top of that, so if I wanted to measure out on the X scale, this X scale keeps going out further, and I can't find the ending piece to this. So it starts way out here somewhere, but it stops right here at -1 on the X scale. So this function is actually decreasing from negative infinity to -1. Remember, we never use brackets. Even though -1 is included on the graph, it can be a piece of both the decreasing and the constant, so we do not use brackets. We only use parentheses. Okay, now, if we want to look and see where this graph is constant, from here to here is where this graph is constant. We only use the X scale. So if we go up from where it starts and we go up from where it ends, this graph is constant from -1 to 3. Even though both those points are on the graph, we only use parentheses. I can't beat that into you enough. Okay, let's look at the rest of the graph. This part of the graph is increasing. It's going up. It's starting here, and if we look at the X value, it's starting right here on 3, and it stops here, which is on the 5. So it is increasing from 3 to 5. We have one more piece of the graph to look at on this far end on the right. It appears that the graph is actually decreasing. So if we take a look at where it's decreasing, it is actually decreasing from this point down, and it just keeps going down. So if I look at the X scale, starts at 5, I cannot find the end. This just keeps going and going and going. So I can't, it's getting longer and longer and longer. I can't find the end to be able to draw up to my X-axis and see what number it ends at. So this is decreasing from 5 to infinity. And we just add that one, this one, 5 to infinity, to the one we already had. So we have two places where this graph is decreasing, and we have to put both of them down because it's decreasing in both places. If you take a look at your calculator and you find the minimums and the maximums, if you were to find, let's say, the maximum of this one on your calculator, and you see that point there, if you notice, the X value is what we end up using when we write where it's increasing or decreasing. So if you're looking at your minimum and your maximum, the X value of that ordered pair will tell you where it's increasing or decreasing. Just remember that you want to always use the X values.